Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for Coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Jeff Madoff. What advice do you have for our young listeners who have a large amount of school debt, of school loans, and maybe extra afraid, extra fearful to take a risk with their career?
So there's a couple things. One thing is, and there's data out on this, but whether you are in a recession or whether it's boom times, the failure rates of businesses is pretty much the same. So, look at it this way. If you're starting a business during really bad economic times, they can only get better. The question is, do you have the runway, the survival money? Because it'll take you a little while to get that business going. But you shouldn't be afraid to start it because times are bad. Now, if you're starting a business in these times that requires people congregating together indoors, you got to rethink that. But that doesn't mean that you can't start planning that business. So, there's certain businesses, by the way, that are flourishing during COVID. Streaming services are flourishing. Home delivery of food is flourishing. Grocery stores are flourishing. Home improvement things, whether it's renovating your house or working on your car, all those businesses are doing better now than they've done in years because people have more time at home and they're taking on these projects. So as bad as things are, there's always opportunities. And you have to look at the whole picture and find what are the opportunities. And of those opportunities, what is appealing to you in terms of doing it? Zoom is a great example. Who heard of Zoom back in January? Very few people. Now it's become a generic. Let's do a Zoom call. So there are always opportunities no matter how bad things get. When towns are decimated by storms, somebody is going to be rebuilding those houses and buying the material to do it and hiring people to do it. So there are cycles that happen all of the time. And it's important to not just focus on the terrible things that have happened, but also look at what are the new opportunities that this presents, because there are opportunities there. And what are they?
Yes. You make a super important point in your book that learning doesn't stop when you graduate from college. And I think that really applies to especially those who decide they might want to start their own business or go into an industry that maybe scares them a little bit. They feel outside their comfort zone, because when you are open to those new experiences and when you push yourself outside your comfort zone, that is where the real magic happens.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to mention one other thing specifically about creative careers. And that is that the greatest works of creativity, and I'm talking about novels, plays, movies, paintings, dance, music. That was a weird accent. Music. I meant to say music. The greatest works all happen during times of either national crisis or personal crisis. And that creates a vulnerability that if you're a creative person, you can channel and use those energies to do great work. And because your emotions are raw and you are open, that expression will be uniquely you. And if you look at when great things have been done, you'll see that there's often a correlation, whether it's a world war, a recession, somebody's lost a loved one, a relationship crashes, financial difficulties ensue. These are the things that often fuel great creative work that resonates and becomes classic for the ages. So there are these things that happen, and learning how to use that fear and use that anxiety and channel it into one's creative pursuits can be very powerful.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.